This is Year 6 Maths for Tuesday the 16th of June, and the learning objective is I can use my knowledge of graphs to solve problems. Good morning Year 6, welcome to Tuesday's Maths. Today we're going to be looking at data in graphs and using it to solve some problems. Copies of the problems are on the website, so these slides will give you some hints and ideas about how to get going. If you're feeling confident, then you're fine to get going on your own, or if you want to check in and listen to some ideas, then keep watching the slides. So let's have a read through the first problem. Tim's class collected information about all their pets. They have 6 different kinds of pets between them. This is the block graph they're making to show how many of each pet the class has altogether. Here are some hints about which block belongs to which pet. There are 2 less cats than dogs. Only 1 child has a parrot at home. The number of fish added to the number of gerbils is equal to the number of dogs. There are twice as many fish as hamsters, and there are half the number of gerbils as there are cats. So as you can see, the children haven't yet written the names of the pets under each bar of the graph. So your job is to use the clues to work out which colour represents each of the animals. A good tip for getting going is to see if any of the clues tell you straight away which colour one of the animals is. Pause the video and have a check. You should have noticed that the parrot would be a good animal to start with. My next tip is to see if you can work out which bar represents the number of dogs. It must be one of the higher bars because the number of fish added to the number of gerbils is equal to the number of dogs, and there are 2 less cats than there are dogs. So have a look at those clues and see if you can work out which bar it is. You're correct if you thought that the red bar represents the number of dogs. Now see if you can work out the rest of the clues. The answers to the problem are on the website. Now here's the second problem. Let's have a read through. Class 4 were making graphs. Ben, Ali, Katie and Charlene decided to make graphs of the sizes of the 7 classes in the school. They went to the office to collect the numbers of children in all the other classes. Ben and Ali wrote down the numbers for classes 1, 2 and 3. Katie and Charlene wrote down the numbers for classes 5, 6 and 7. Of course, they all knew the number of children in class 4. Ben and Ali drew a block graph which looked like this, and Katie and Charlene decided to make theirs differently. They drew this second graph. Now Miss Brown came along to look at their work. It's an interesting graph, she said, but it's difficult to tell how many children are in each class. Please can you make a scale on it so we can all read it? Katie and Charlene did what they were told. How many children were there altogether in classes 5, 6 and 7? My tip to get going for this problem is that you might notice that class 4 is on both of the graphs. On the first block graph, you can actually read how many children are in class 4 by looking at the y-axis on the left. It's not so clear on the screen, but it's 36 children. That means on the second graph you know that class 4, which is represented by 4 large stick people and 4 smaller stick people, must be 36 children in total. You're going to need your knowledge of the 4 times table next in solving this problem. You know that 4 times something equals something, and 4 times something equals something, and when you add those 2 answers together, you're looking to get a total of 36. Have a try and see if you can find a possibility. So one possibility that I've found is that 4 times 8 is 32, and 4 times 1 is 4. 32 plus 4 is 36. That would mean that each of the big people on the graph represents 8 children, and each of the small people on the graph represents 1 child. I could then work out how many children were in classes 5, 6 and 7, and then I'd add them together to find the final total to solve the problem.